Yesu asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe tena. Nimeokoka. Yesu ndiye mwokozi wa maisha yangu. Kwa siku ya leo tunaenda kuongelea about Bible. What is the meaning of Bible? Bible is according to the Greek, is books or a literal books. What is the importance of reading the Word of God? That's Bible. When you read the Bible, the Word of God, we always get hope. We get hope when we read the Word of God. When we look in the book of Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 to 12. When we read the Bible, we get the strength as a believer or an unbeliever. When we look in the book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1. When we read the Word of God, we get those God promises. When we read in the book of Revelation chapter 21 verse 4. When we read the Word of God, it always shows us that God always promised, He always fulfill His promises. When you look in the book of Romans chapter 15 verse 14. When we read the Word of God, it always transforms us and also help us to change the way of thinking in our life, and also to face challenges, and also to avoid sin. When we look in the book of Romans chapter 12 verse 12. When we read the Word of God, it always guides us and counsels us. When we look in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 14, and then we look in the book of Psalms chapter 119 verse 105. When we read the book of God, we always get those revelations or prophecy. When we look in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 to 5. When we read the Word of God, we get answers. When we look in the book of Matthew chapter 7 verse 7. When we read the Word of God, we get joy and peace of mind. We look in the book of Proverbs chapter 17 verse 22. When we read the Word of God, we always join together. It also helps us to join together, those who understand it and those who do not understand it. It helps us to join together. When we look in the book of Acts chapter 8 verse 26 to 31. May the Lord bless you all.